LEGO original themes are dying, and it's maybe Ninjago's fault. Is that a bit of a wild statement? Maybe, but I think it is true, at least partly. And in this video, I'm going to explain all the reasons why LEGO themes are dying. But before we get started, I want to address something real quick. I lied. LEGO original themes are not dying. Don't believe me? Take a look at LEGO Botanicals or City or Technic. I would argue that those themes are doing quite well. The themes that I'm going to be looking at specifically in this video are LEGO's action themes. But LEGO original action themes is a mouthful, so for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be calling them just original themes. But I think this brings up a very interesting thing to consider. What is it about these original themes specifically that's causing their slow death, but doesn't affect non-action original themes? Well, in my opinion, there is one thing, and that thing is in this section, we have to look at why we buy LEGO sets, because it's very different from action and non-action themes. The reason City is so popular is because it mimics the world around. A kid who likes vehicles in the real world will definitely love a miniature model they made themselves. Compare that to something like Sora's transforming mech bike racer. Yes, it somewhat resembles something from real life, but I don't think many of us see this on the road around the neighborhood. No, the reason that anyone, like me, would buy this set is because of the concept of this set is important to them in some way. The most common way is if this concept showed up in media that they frequently consume and enjoy, and that is the crux of this argument. Kids can make a story out of anything they buy, but as you get older, even pre-teens and teens, that ability kind of starts to go away. As such, those teens, pre-teens, and adults, whatever, they're more likely to gravitate towards stuff that comes from a story that means a lot to them. Those fans have an emotional connection with the world and the characters, and so are willing to pour their cash out to get some representation of that imaginary universe in the real world in the form of Legos. I was watching Duck Bricks' video a while ago, and something he said really stuck with me. LEGO is a storytelling company. The sets that we buy are to tell some kind of story. When you're a kid, any set can be turned into any story, but as you grow up, you tend to latch more deeply onto stories you know rather than anything new. Above all, this was why Ninjago succeeded. Yes, the sets were good and creative, but the reason fans have come back year after year, wave after wave, set after set, is for the connection they have with the world of Ninjago, which is so deep because of how good the show is. Yeah, most of these original failed themes just don't have that. With the exception of Monkie Kid, all other shows are not the best. With the most recent example being Dreams, the stories usually feature bland characters and the plot seems half-baked at best. It just seems like LEGO puts so much money into the world and all the designs because that's what they're going to turn into sets, but forget to make the show itself good. Ninjago is obviously made to market the sets, but it's a fantastic show in its own regard, and the same just cannot be said for some of these other themes. It's basic common sense that LEGO only has a finite amount of resources and so has to put money and effort where it has the maximum results. The trend in the last couple of years has been that LEGO is certainly moving towards taking up more licensed themes. I mean, if you look at just recently, we got LEGO Fortnite, Pokemon, One Piece, and many more. These themes are in the place of original themes like, I don't know, Galaxy Squad or Alien Conquest, and it's very obvious that licensed themes are gonna sell better than original themes because those licensed themes already have pre-existing fan bases. In the end, most of LEGO's target audience is young kids who just see sets at their local Walmart or Target, and most kids are not going to care whether the toy is part of an already existing IP or not. The last two reasons we've discussed are some pretty valid problems that LEGO has to deal with when creating new themes, but sometimes it feels like LEGO manufactures ways to kill off their own themes. Firstly, Monkie Kid. Now, I've heard from many sources that Monkie Kid is a banger theme. I've seen the sets and I think they were good. In my opinion, this theme peaked around 2021 with sets like the Bone Demon Mech being one of the best sets of that year. From what I saw of this theme, it just looked like LEGO stopped putting that much effort into the sets. We kept getting less and less sets every year and they were good, but you see how themes like Ninjago evolved from 2020 to 2021, and then you look at Monkie Kid and that improvement is just not there. I think this is for one very stupid reason, and that is marketing. You see, I've been told that the show is really good, but I can't really say because I've never watched it. I can't find the episodes anywhere, and after a while I just gave up. The sets are also nowhere to be found except on LEGO's website, so people in the US probably have never even heard of this theme. And that's a shame because so many people who've actually watched the show are saying that it is amazing. But the question has to be asked, is Monkie Kid really dead? I think so. I mean, we might get season 6 sometime later this year, but there are most likely going to be no Monkie Kid sets releasing for the rest of this year and next year. The only decent evidence for Monkie Kid continuing is the new Shanghai theme park opening, but from what I can see, it's been planned since 2021 when Monkie Kid was at its peak. So, in short, Monkie Kid has been huffing and puffing along solely because LEGO just decided not to market it in the US or anywhere except China. Now though, onto the reason you all clicked on this video, Ninjago. How has Ninjago influenced the slow decay of original themes? Well, in my opinion, it's pretty simple. Firstly, it's clear that LEGO is pouring a lot of money into Ninjago with the new Legends sets and stuff like that. So, obviously, that takes away budget that LEGO could have used for original themes. Secondly, however, it seems like Ninjago has just become this massive overarching theme that can just come and gobble up any other theme. Ninjago has so many seasons and they're all so different from each other that instead of taking a concept and making a theme on it, why not just turn it into a Ninjago season? Ghosts, technology, dungeons, all Ninjago seasons. So why would LEGO need to make a separate theme for them? I think that this is one of the biggest reasons why LEGO OG themes have slowed down, because the concepts have just been all merging with Ninjago. So what do we do going forward? How do we stop the gradual decline of original themes? Well, this brings me into my final problem with LEGO original themes, and perhaps the biggest problem by far, and that is that people don't want them. As much as I would love to see LEGO creating new stuff, I will admit, on August 1st, I will only buy the stuff that I'm interested in, Ninjago and other licensed themes, and I'm willing to bet that most of you watching this video are the same. Yes, there are people who would love to see more original themes, but those people aren't the majority of the community. We all like to think that LEGO isn't listening to the fans, but the reality is that LEGO has all of the numbers. They have all the stats. They know what people are gonna buy and what people aren't gonna buy. Dream sets are on clearance for 50% off and still not being sold. Meanwhile, Ninjago and Star Wars sets at my local Walmart have to be restocked after just the first couple of days. Besides, this brings up another point. Do we even really need original themes? While I still think that LEGO should experiment with a new theme every so often, just for the sake of it, the truth is that a lot of LEGO original themes back in the day were based off of licensed brands that they just didn't have the IPs for. Like, tell me, why do you need a LEGO Dino theme if you already have Jurassic World? Why need a Galaxy Squad or Alien Conquest theme when you have Star Wars? Like I said, the kids aren't gonna care, and the pre-existing fans are just going to be more inclined to buy those sets. But there's still going to be people who complain that LEGO isn't about creativity anymore or something, which I disagree. How is a Star Wars ship any less creative than a Galaxy Squad ship? Besides, like I said, action IPs specifically aren't all that much about creativity. They're about getting a physical representation of a world that you're invested in, so the story is a lot more important. If you want creativity, check out LEGO Creator or Savior Technic, those are still there. So overall, what are my final thoughts on this whole matter? Well, as LEGO gets more and more licensed themes, original themes will continue to die, and that's just what people want, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. LEGO can compensate for that in other original themes that are not action-based because the story aspect is just not as important there. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comments below and subscribe. If you're interested in this type of content, make sure to check out this video on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next one.